What's going on, everybody? My name is Joshua Stover. If you guys haven't heard of me before, I'm Joshua Stover. Hey guys, real quick, I wanted to give you guys a rundown of my origin story, how I got to where I am. For those of you who don't know, I am now a full-time entrepreneur. I run my own t-shirt business. I do coaching with people. I run a course teaching people how to drive traffic to their e-commerce stores to hopefully make more sales and help them learn the process of marketing better. So what started all this off, guys, is I'm going to take you clear back to high school. Back in high school, my dream was to be a saxophone player. At this time, in my generation, people were always teaching us, like, do what you love, and if you love what you do, you'll never work another day in your life. And while I totally believe that is true, I don't believe it's the full truth. As I've grown and progressed in my life and with my businesses and things like that, I have also realized that not only do you need to do what you love, but you also need to love what it affords you to do. I came up with that on my own today. I don't know if anybody else said that before or not, but what's that mean? So I wanted to be a saxophone player. I wanted to be a performer. Like, that was my dream. I love being up on stage. I like being in front of people. I love talking to people. I even love doing what I'm doing right now. Even though I don't know exactly who you are, talking to this camera right now is fun for me. I love doing it. It's kind of a performance, right? So it's what I wanted to do. So I went all in. I went all in on doing saxophone. I quit doing sports in high school, which I loved and was good at. I didn't buy a car. I saved up all my money. I worked hard at my job. I've been working every day since I turned 14 years old. Saved up all my money, bought a saxophone, put it all into it, went to college for it, moved to Texas, went to another music school where I didn't do anything. I didn't do math, science, all that stuff. I just did music courses at music school. That's all I wanted to do because I wanted to be a performer. You don't need a degree to be a performer. You just need to be good. So did all of that, and I met my now wife when I was in college performing on saxophone. And I quickly realized that my dream of doing what I love was going to not afford me to have a family. My plan was to live in a van. I was going to live in a van and travel the country and perform and live in a van. My wife don't live in a van, guys. Like, that ain't going to happen. I love the woman to death, but she will not live in a van for me. As she might. But I didn't want that for her either, though. So at that point, I finished up my music college, learned everything that I could, took all the courses that I could, played in every band that I could play in, and decided I was going to follow another passion of mine, which is being a mechanic. I grew up in the Midwest in Iowa, way out in the country. We're talking like 25 miles from the nearest town. So we're always working on things out there. Because I didn't have a lot of money to spend on a cool car in high school because I bought a saxophone, I always had junker cars that I just had to keep fixing. Me and my dad would always fix them. And anyway, and everybody on my mom's side of the family, all the men were always mechanics too. So I did have the gift of being mechanically inclined. So I decided at that point, after I had met my girlfriend, my now wife, that if I wanted to pursue doing something that I loved for a job, so I didn't work every day, I also needed to do something that would afford me to be happy outside of my job, which was having a wife and a decent place to live and possibly a family someday. So went ahead and decided that I was going to go to mechanic school. I was going to be a motorcycle mechanic. Power sports is like the ultimate stuff for me. Like, you know, anything from mini bikes to go-karts up to jet skis and four-wheelers and any kind of motorcycle, man, all that stuff still turns me on, right? Like, love it. So I went to motorcycle school, paid cash for it, graduated at the top of my class and did it in record time. I got it done early, actually. And the day that I graduated, I was working at the dream dealership that I wanted to the day after. So went straight from school, straight into working there. Man, I'm living in heaven at this point. I'm working on stuff. I'm learning new things. I'm riding every new motorcycle, going to the lake, riding jet skis, testing customers' jet skis. I mean, I'm living like my dream, right? That was short-lived as well, because I come to find out that while I love what I'm doing and it does afford some stuff that I love outside of it, it wasn't enough. Downfalls, just so you know, downfalls of being a motorcycle mechanic is that dealerships are independently owned and operated, right? So it's not a big corporation. So vacation was maxed out at 2 weeks a year. And that was it. Like, for the rest of my life, I get 2 weeks a year. Not only do you only get 2 weeks a year, but you can only take him in the off season, which is cold. So I can't ride my motorcycle and do cool tours and do things like that because it's cold out. And that ruins it for me. Not only that, but I'm working all day. I'm working like from 9 in the morning to 6 o'clock at night. That takes up all day. So by the time I get home, my wife's home, we eat dinner, we lounge out for a few hours to spend some time together. Then it's time to go to bed and repeat it. And that's our life. Like, ended up not being it. Not only that, but health insurance. Health insurance, I think, was like $800 for me alone. That's not my wife, and we don't have a kid at this point. So I can't afford that. Like, I didn't make enough money to pay for that. So I quickly realized that my dream job, what I thought would afford me the lifestyle that I wanted, and the love my job, not work another day mentality, it all collapses in on itself. So we make the decision to move to Iowa so my wife can finish up nursing school. She wanted to go back to school and finish up and become an RN, a registered nurse. We move back to Iowa, a place where we can afford to live, and she can go to college. And I had a couple of jobs lined up when I moved here that I knew I could make decent money living in a small town. You know, it's cheaper to live here too, obviously, versus living in Dallas, Texas, moving to a small town of Iowa. We decide to do that. We get here, and things are going okay. Like, I'm working a job that I hate, but it's getting us by. I know it's only short term. Like, I only got to do it for a couple of years, get her through school. During this time, the place we were living, we had to move and buy our own house. We bought a house. About a month or so after we bought our house, our son was born. We knew he was coming, obviously. So he's born, and she's finishing up school, and that was 2019. That first year was okay. Then COVID hit the following year, so that created a nightmare for a bunch of things. She's in nursing school, dealing with COVID, trying to go to her clinicals, work in places, and she's doing online learning, which is kind of a nightmare being a nurse. So trudge through all of it, get through all of that. And during all of this time, I should have mentioned earlier, is that I had got the idea that, like, I wanted to start my own business because the saxophone thing didn't work out. The being a mechanic thing didn't work out. I hate working the current mechanic job that I was doing. So I decide that I want to look into starting my own business. So my brother and I, we pulled up some money together. We bought a vinyl cutter and a heat press that allowed us to make stickers and make t-shirts. And that evolved into making more and more t-shirts. So we invested some more money. I got a loan too. And we bought the equipment you see behind me. We are now doing screen printing. And so that's all exciting. That's fun. I'm loving it. I'm making a little extra side money. And my goal was, like, if I could make enough money to make our house payment, like, that would be absolutely fantastic. Like, that'd be a dream come true, right? So we're doing all of this stuff. And I soon hit a brick wall. I hit a wall realizing that I'm making some money because I'm doing things for other people, but I'm realizing I don't like working on client stuff so much. I want to make the stuff that I think is cool, and I want to share it with the communities that I like and want to be a part of. So I will decide that I'm going to run my own brand. The only problem is I've never done anything like that. I have no idea how to market that. I don't know how to do this stuff online. I've got some YouTube experience because I was kind of doing a YouTube channel with metalworking and all the tools that I had, being a mechanic and stuff, but I don't know how to do any of this stuff. So one night I'm at work. We've got all this equipment. We've got some debt from the equipment. Not bad, but a little bit. Paid cash from our wife's school, so we don't have a whole lot of money. And I'm like, okay, I need to figure out, like, how do I make a lot of money? How do I run Facebook ads? Like, how do I market myself? How do I get my stuff in front of the right people? I've got all these dots and I've got a lot of accomplishments, but I haven't connected everything yet. I haven't figured out how to make this all work for myself. So I did what anybody else does. Is like, hey, how do I make money on the internet? I get on Google, I look it up. I vividly remember doing this as I'm working my job. I'm doing a mechanic for a local company around here, and it's an overnight job. I'm working on, like, semi trucks and stuff, and I'm working overnights. I'm on my lunch hour and I'm looking up online, like, how do I sell t-shirts? I've got the stuff. Obviously I'm going to do t-shirts. I'm already committed to that. How do I sell t-shirts? How do I make a brand? How do I market a brand? And in doing so, I come across a guy named Kerry Egler. Kerry Egler is now a good friend of mine. He is my mentor as well. He runs Shirt School. If you guys haven't heard of Shirt School or don't even know what that is, he teaches, it's kind of a print-on-demand course, but it's for anybody who wants to sell stuff on e-commerce. The knowledge translates well to anything that's e-commerce, right? So I get an ad from him because me searching and looking at stuff triggered an ad. I see an ad from him. I go and look at his course, and it's pretty cool, but man, money's tight. I can't really afford it. Like, I'm working an overnight job. I hate to make ends meet, right? Like, so I go ahead and decide, like, you know what? I'm going to take the plunge. I'm going to go and buy the course. Course wasn't terribly expensive. It was more than I was expecting to pay, but I'm like, I chatted with Kerry a little bit on Facebook through his messenger. When you look at his homepage there, you can click on people's stuff and chat with him a little bit. So I chat with him, and I'm like, I think this is going to be a good fit. Kerry seems like a legitimate guy. Sometimes we see these courses online, you're like, this guy's a fake. He's just going to steal my money. Not who Kerry is. So jump in, take the course, and I start learning. I'm diving in. I'm learning so much stuff. I'm super excited about all the stuff I'm learning. In fact, so excited that I'm now running 3 brands. I went from not knowing what I'm doing to running 3 different websites, running 3 brands. I'm doing something for jet skiers. I'm doing my own Stover custom stuff. And then I'm also doing mini bike apparel, doing all this stuff, going through the course, and had an opportunity to speak with Kerry on a Zoom call. That was one of the things about joining the course at that time. I'm not sure if he's still doing that or not, but I had a chance to talk with him a little bit, and he's like, hey, man, like, let's kind of focus you down. And while we were talking, he's like, hey, I'm running a coaching program. If you're interested in joining up in this, he's like, I think you'll be a good fit. Like, what you're doing is good. You've got hustle, all these things. And so after about a year of struggling through my own and going through the course, granted, I learned so much, and I am making sales at this point that I'm like, I think I'm interested in taking the course. So I get on the sales call, talk with him about the course, joining the course. We go over what it's going to be about, what all the benefits it's going to do for me. And we get to the price point, and I'm like, I can't pay that. I can't spend that. I can't spend any money for coaching. Like, I don't know, like, kind of doubting myself, not sure what the right move is for me at this point. So talked to my wife about it a little bit, and my wife says, Josh, she's like, you've got the hustle, you've got the drive, this is your dream, this is what you want to do. She's like, go for it. And so I'm like, if my wife tells me to do it, I've got no reason not to do it. So I go ahead and I actually charged it on PayPal credit to join this coaching program, thinking that worst case scenario, I could always just like take on more client work and I could pay this off. I got 6 months to do it. I can come up with $3,000 in 6 months, sell some stuff if I have to. So go ahead and I get into this coaching program, and man, like, you guys, this was the breaking point for me. Working with Kerry, focus, man. He tells me, focus everything down. Let's work on one brand, get rid of everything else, focus on one brand, and let's get after it. So that's what I did, and made all the difference. Worked on organic marketing with him, learned a bunch of new strategies, working with other people, and it was a group coaching program. So I'm working, exchanging notes with other people, and we're all in the same kind of place in our business, and we're all learning this stuff, and we're all growing together. And like I said, this made all the difference, and started making some money. Did a free plus shipping offer. If you guys don't know what that is, you can take Kerry's course, kind of check it out, and see what that has to entail. But do a free plus shipping offer, gets my feet wet into doing some actual marketing testing and stuff like that. That deal turned into a bundle deal that I created. I took profits from that offer, ran some advertising, and that first month that I ran advertising, I went from making like a maximum of maybe $1,200 a month to selling $12,000 worth of t-shirts in my first month. Completely blowing my mind, right? I am super stoked. I'm now starting to believe in myself, like, hey, I really can do this. Like, I know that I can do a lot of things, and I pride myself on being able to learn things and fix things and like getting in there and getting things figured out. But sometimes, especially when it comes to making money, until you do it, it's hard to believe that you can do it. So, man, we make $12,000 in sales. That's not profit. That's gross sales, right? But that's enough money where I can go ahead and pay off the course that I taken in the coaching, right? Awesome. That's all paid off. And I take the rest of the profits in that next month. I reinvest it all back into advertising because I figured I'm on a roll. I don't want to let this go. And I'd rather reinvest all this money now and learn what it takes to advertise. That way, when things aren't rolling, I still know how to get an ad working again, right? So I reinvest all my money the next month, and I'm scaling and I'm selling stuff, and I'm ordering more t-shirts than I've ever ordered my entire life. I've got Facebook ads people calling me now because I'm spending so much on ads. I've got reps from these places, the suppliers I buy my shirts from, they're all calling me because they're seeing how much money I'm spending. And that next month, I do $30,000 in sales, and I did $30,000 the next month. The next month was like 11. And then the month after that was like $25,000. So in like the course of like 4 months, I went from not selling anything to selling almost $70,000 worth of t-shirts, or right around there. My math might be a little off, but you get the gist of the story there. So now we're at a point where my wife has graduated college. She is now a nurse. I proven that I can make money in my business. We are able to put my son in daycare. Now, mind you, I'm working an overnight job at this point too. So all this stuff's going on. I'm fulfilling and printing and doing everything on my own. We are now able to afford to put our son in daycare for a couple days a week. So it gives me a little bit more time, but I'm still only getting like 3 hours of sleep a night because I'm printing and shipping and packaging and doing all this. I'm working the overnight job. I'm taking care of my son, trying to do the family life too. Like we're doing all these things, everything's crazy, but prove to myself that I can do this. Anyway, so that coaching program ends. I'm super happy that I spent the money on it because I don't even know what the return on investment was on it. Massive, right? Learned so much and it changed my life. Fast forward a little bit. My wife's doing really good with the nurse job. She's got 2 different jobs that she works. She enjoys doing. I am still doing well with the business. I've got some other business opportunities that are taking off, so I'm doing even better outside of my original business, so that's fantastic. And that year, at the end of the year, I turned in my 2 weeks at my full-time job. And Christmas Eve was my last day of working as an employee, and I am now a full-time entrepreneur. So to sum up everything that I've told you guys is I went from chasing my dreams to realizing that dream wasn't what I want, going into my next dream job, realizing that it didn't afford everything that I wanted, even though I loved what I did, to sacrificing and working a job I hated to get us to a position that allowed me to chase another dream. And this dream is what I am in right now. Now, this dream right here, guys, I do fully believe is going to give me the full package. It's going to allow me to do all the things I want. One, it's going to be fulfilling. I love working and creating. I still love working with my hands. Like that's something that I'm super passionate about, getting in there and getting in the trenches and working. So love what you do. You'll never work another day in your life. I'm on board with it for this, right? I love it. I'm also having other opportunities to work with new businesses or even experienced businesses that need help growing and scaling. I'm getting opportunities to work with people that I never dreamed of. Like how amazing is that? So I absolutely love that. So I'm able to help people out. I now have the flexibility to spend time with my family. If we want to go on vacation, we can actually go do that now. Not that we're going to, Hawaii every other week or anything like that. But compared to the last couple of jobs I've had, it's like I've got the freedom to do that. I'm back on a regular sleep schedule. I'm not working overnights. I guess to sum everything up, you guys, is that this entrepreneurship route is going to afford me and my family the life that we want, but also the work life that we love. And I think that's the biggest takeaway on this whole thing is to believe in yourself, push forward, don't let up. And as long as you don't quit, you can't fail, because failing today is just learning for tomorrow, right? If that makes any sense. So guys, that is my origin story. Here we are. I'm trying to live the dream, the American dream, right? That's what we're all working towards. So I want to thank you guys so much for listening to my quick origin story here. This channel is going to be about working with people and teaching you guys things. I want to share with you my journey, what I'm going through. We've got some cool things coming up. If any of you guys are interested in checking out Kerry's Shirt School, you want to do some print-on-demand stuff, you don't have t-shirt equipment, maybe you want to start a brand, sell t-shirts, I'm going to drop the link to his course down below. Go check it out. It literally can change your life. Part of it's going to be up to you. You got to get in there and you got to believe in yourself and you got to do the work, but it can change your life. I am living proof of that. But anyway, so thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoying listening to the story. It was awesome to meet you guys, and we'll see you guys later.